Greetings everyone and welcome to this particular video. In today's video, we are going to be delving into a complete guide on how to use the tools in AutoCAD. But before then, let me let you guys know something. In this particular video, I actually made mention of our Telegram community a few times. The Telegram community is a free community where we share resources for free and also answer questions of students for free. So if you're going through this particular video and you actually encountered a challenge while trying to practice what was taught, then you can hit us on our Telegram community and then we'll guide you through for free and also help you to resolve it. All right, so let me let you guys enjoy the class. Learn well, okay?
All right, guys, good day and welcome to today's course video. In this tutorial, we're going to be discussing how to use the various tools in AutoCAD. All right, we're going to be discussing how to use the various tools in AutoCAD. So when you're done opening your AutoCAD, remember this is the interface that AutoCAD brings you to. And every single thing here I've been explaining to you, so you know how to navigate your way through to opening your working interface. All right, so let's go ahead and open a drawing under my recent what they call the quick access as recent document. So just click the first one, tutorial. All right, so now I'm just going to be erasing all this. It's going to be erasing all this. Yeah. So erase these two so we can get it. All right. So now, first of all, before you start a drawing, before you start doing anything in your working interface, there are a few things you have to set. All right, and they are following number. You can write it down. Unit number 1. You have the grid number 2. You have the limit to set 3, and also you have the zooming to set. So we're going to start with unit. To bring up your unit dialog, just use your UNIT in your keyboard. Then you see that it appears on your screen. So the one that's selected with the view selection highlight, you can just go with it with units. So just click, and then it is these are dialog box. All right, so I'm just going to set my precisions and all that, and let's say okay, length, we're going to leave it at decimal place. This one precision, leave it at 0. Sometimes my CEOs might be in 0.000, just leave it at 0. All right, so now for angles precision, type, I'm just going to leave it at decimal degree, and also precision. I'm going to leave this at 0. All right. So now the unit is very, very important. It depends on what you are used to. It depends on which country you have. All right. So some countries are good at using millimeter and all that, millimeter, meter. Some countries also put on inches. So it depends on where you are and what is common in your area. All right. So you can just go with any of them. So as for me, I will go millimeter or meter. Mostly millimeter. All right. So that's it. Millimeter. All right, so I'm just going to click OK, and that's that. We are done setting our unit. So the next one on the list is what? Limits. So to just go and set your limits, use your LIMITS. All right, so you can see it appears there. Click OK. So now talking about limits. Limits is actually just assume that you just bought a land and you want to set boundaries. It's the same thing you are doing here. We want to set our working interface to know the boundaries we are working with. That's limits, as it implies, limits. All right, so we want to know the boundaries that we are working with. What are these boundaries? All right, what are these boundaries we are working with? That's a limit. But first of all, before we can actually portray the limit, we have to set to origin. Where is the origin? It's this place. All right, I can actually zoom in, but I don't think. Okay, it's very, very hard to zoom in. So you can't locate the origin at this place at all. You can't, but you can do it using your keyboard. All right, you can locate the origin using your keyboard. See these two balls here represent your coordinates. The first one, mathematically, it implies your x direction. The second one implies your y direction, right? So now I'm not going to be imputing and taking them back to the origin from this place. So from my keyboard, I'll just hit the 0 for the first one with the y direction. Then I hit the tab key, then 0 for the y direction. So now it's taking us back to origin. Where is the origin? Here is the origin. Look at it. This is the origin in this place. So, but we can't access it with our cursor. So we have to use our keyboard to access it. So now we already set it to origin. These are you do, just follow me step by step. Enter. So now you have set it to origin. Now you're about to put the what do you call it? You're about to put the length in the y direction and the length in the x direction. All right. So you can put several. You can put a limit, a very serious limit to your drawing. All right. You can put a very serious limit. Let me use for my y direction. Let me use 10,000. All right. Then for my x direction, that's the first one. Let me use 10,000. Then hit your tab key. Then 10,000 again. All right. So that is that. Okay. So you press your enter, and that's that. You are done with limit. The next one on the list is what? We have our grid. All right. Grid simply means these bars showing the simply means okay. It simply means talking about graph. Your work interface. Your working interface is just like a graph. All right, you can see the y direction, the x direction, and in the graph is divided into grids, and inside those grids there are smaller grids. All right, each main grid is either in 1 centimeter or 2 centimeter. So AutoCAD automatically by default has our own in 1 centimeter, but I don't think it's cool working with 1 centimeter grid. Let's work with 2 centimeter grid so that what one set right away. All right. So now let's just for the grid, you can just say GRID. Okay, escape GRID. All right. So enter. And you see AutoCAD has its own. Okay, this one is 2 centimeter. Okay, let's just leave that two. So if yours is one, make it two. All right, so good. We are good. That's that for grid. That's easy as that. Why for zoom? So you want to zoom your whole land, the full picture of the land you purchased. All right, you want to zoom it. You go ZOMM, right? MM. Sorry for that. OM. All right. So now zoom. Okay. Then you now see that when you are done, you press enter and it take you to this place. It's saying that real time. No, I don't want to zoom real time. I want to zoom every single thing in my working interface. All right. I want to zoom it. So just hit my all. All right. Hit enter. And that's that. You are done with every setting you need to do before you start your drawing. All right. Right about now, let's delve into our tools proper. How to use these tools in AutoCAD. How to use these tools in AutoCAD. I hope you are jotting. I hope you are writing down because we're going to need these things. All right. So in case you want to work, you will need it. All right. So now let's get ahead and let's go. Oh yeah. So all right. Now we're going to be discussing the different tabs we have here. All right. Different tabs we have here. Now the first tab we have here is the Home tab. The second tab we have here, the Insert. The third tab annotates, parametric, view, manage, output, add-ins, collaborate, express to, and featured app. So, as I've said before, AutoCAD is a software that is not only used by architects, not structural engineers, but they are used vastly by different building professions and other professions. All right, so AutoCAD incorporates these tools to give everyone easy access and easy way to navigate through AutoCAD to get what they want done. All right, so for this video, we're going to be dealing with just the Home tab, Annotate tab, okay, let's say Insert tab, Annotate tab, then Output tab. All right, so that's what we are going to be dealing with in this video. So stay close, stay very focused, and also let's go. The first tab that we have here is the home. In the home, we have the draw segment, the modify segment, the annotate segment, the layer segment, the block segment, the property segment. We have group segment, utility, clipboard, and view. All right, utility, clipboard, and view. So first of all, we are going to be starting with the draw segment. The draw segment actually the segment in which you see the drawing tools. All right, the drawing tools, as it implies, your lines, your polylines, your cycle, your arc, your rectangle, your ellipse, and then your hash. All right, so let's start with our line. What is line? All right, line is what it is. It's used for drawing. This is a major tool in AutoCAD. All right, this is a major tool in AutoCAD. Lines is used for your drawing. All right, from one point to another, you use your lines. All right, so now let's see. Click the lines. For the lines, you can use your L enter. All right, so as long as it contains shortcuts, check the document I sent to you. That is the PDF I sent to you concerning shortcut keys. You're going to understand better. All right, so let's go. L enter for line. So you click the first one there, which is your line, and enter. All right, so now let's get ahead. What are we going to be using this line for? The line is actually a very nice tool. All right, so just click first point the way it is. How do you draw a line from one point to another point? So you click first point to another point. So you this from this point, remember the line is always continuous. All right, so you can either escape if you are done, or you just continue. So from this point now to another point, from this point to another point, all right, to this point, another point, then from this point to this point. All right, so that's that for your line. All right, so the line is actually used to draw in AutoCAD. It's very, very, very important, and we are going to be using it very, very well. So that's that for line. Let's talk about another one, which is the polyline. All right, that's the next one. For the polyline, the shortcut key is your PL. All right, PL. If you just type PL in your PC, this is it. You can see P lines. So it's called polylines. All right, so it's the same thing we have here. So I'll just click this line and let me tell you the differences between the line and the polyline. All right, so let's go. Now I'm just going to draw using the line, the same thing I drew. All right, so I'm just going to draw a rectangle. All right, so let's see the difference between this one and this one. If you can see, you will know the difference already. Look at it. This one can be selected only. All right, it can be selected only. Like what I mean by only is it is the lines are connected together. There's no separate lines here. No separate lines. All right, no separate lines in this place. The lines are connected together. You can actually select everything. All right, you can select everything is what you select. So because the line they are one, that's why it's called polylines. But when you're using your line tool to draw, the lines are drawn separately. The lines are separate, selection is separate. All right, so now let me talk a bit on selection. So I've been using some tools here. Look at them. So I have to talk about this so I understand, because it's very, very important while we join for selection. All right, so now as for selection, we have two types of selection. Let's just not deviation, let's talk about it so you understand, right, before we come back to what we are doing. We have two types of selection. We have the cross selection and the window selection. All right. For cross selection, as it implies, it cross an object and it selected. While for window selection, as window implies, it has to cover the element before it can be selected. Let's take, for example, let's draw a line. All right. This is a line. This is a line. All right. So now, what is cross selection? Cross selection is done by just clicking. When you left click, drag towards, left click on your interface and drag towards the left direction, that is this one showing a green sign here, this green color is your cross selection, the one you left click and drag towards the right direction is your window selection, towards the left direction cross selection, towards the right direction window selection. All right, so let's see how these things work. Now for cross selection, remember as it implies, it cross the object and select. So let's cross the object. Good. Selected. The reason you are selecting an object is if you want to edit, do anything, or you want to mirror, you want to copy, modify the object, you have to select it before you can do anything. All right. That's why this selection tool is very, very important. All right. So now for cross selection, you want to just select an element. It depends on where it is being called for. All right. So I want to select this element now. I will just have to cross through the element and select it. But for window selection, you will have to cover the whole element. Look at it. Look at it. But for cross, look at it. It's already active for selection. For window, not active yet. No, even at this point, not active until you cover the whole element. Then it will now be active for selection. Good. That's that for window selection and cross selection. So I believe we got that. So let's get ahead to what we are doing before. All right. So now we've drawn our polyline. Let's draw cycle. All right. So before we start drawing our cycle, we have to drop down this menu and see the different method AutoCAD presents to us to draw cycles. All right. So let's drop down this. uh, so we have the center radius, center diameter, 2 points, 3 points, tan radius, and tan. All right. So for this particular this course, I'm just going to be talking about your center radius and the center diameter. All right. So let's go now. For cycle, we have a shortcut key of C. If you read the book before, you're familiar with this. All right. You read the book, the PDF I sent to you, you'll be familiar with it. The shortcut key is C. Yeah. So let's go ahead. Click. Is that you click on the cycle or you hit your C key on the keyboard, your cycle will appear. All right. So that's cycle. So I'm just going to be clicking because for understanding sake. All right, so now to draw the cycle, the first one we are going to be going with, the first method is center radius. What does that mean? You see this particular working interface, anywhere I click here will become my center. So you click this place and drag. After center is what? Radius. Yeah. So I'm just going to insert my radius 5,000. Good. You can see it. This is it here. So it's 5,000 already, meaning that the radius is 5,000 and the diameter is 10,000. That's how you draw your cycle using the method center and radius. All right, so let's draw a cycle using the method center and diameter. That's the next one, center and diameter. Right? So I'm just going to click the same process center, but this time you are going to insert the diameter of the cycle you want to draw. So I want the both cycles to be the same so I will understand. All right, so I'm going to hit the key and type 10,000. All right, that's the diameter. Yep, so you can see they are the same. They are the same here. They are the same. You see it right? So that's that for cycle. You can draw cycle using those two methods, and if you want to go ahead, there are various methods you can use in drawing your cycle. So now I'm going to be explaining the next one, which is the arc. All right, the arc, the arc. All right, so the arc. So now let's go. So in explaining the arc, I will have to draw wall. Now you might be asking, what is this arc? What is this arc? When you're entering your dining in your house, when you're in, or when you're entry, when you are in the entrance of your house, you see one arc at the porch, right? That's called the arc. That curve we are seeing there in the porch, or the curve we are seeing in the dining, that is the arc. All right. Some houses have, some houses don't have, but if yours have, you're lucky, and you see the perfect example of an arc. All right, so now let me draw walls to explain to you better. So I'm just going to be using, okay, let me use lines. So I'll get familiarized with lines, all right? So now these lines, so I'm just going to do something here, mirror, no. All right, so now this is what we have here. Let's assume these are walls and this is wall and this is wall. So I'm going to be using the arc tool to draw the arc. All right. So now there are different methods using drawing your arc. So let's see them. We have the 3 points method, the start, center, and end. Start, center, angle, start, center, length. All right. So for these, we're gonna be using just two. All right, 3 points. Let's start with 3 points and start, center, and end. So for the 3 points, let's go. Select just 3 points and draw your arc. So this is first point to the second point, and then you drag 3 points. All right, 3 points. So that is also 3 point arc. Yeah. So to explain the other one, I'm just going to copy this, move to this point, and then let's talk about the second method, which is the start, center, and end. All right. So what this implies is to get this correctly, we're going to be drawing a line. All right. We are going to be drawing a line, and we're going to be drawing a arc. So it says start, the center, and end. Right, so for this one is going the direction that I don't want to go, so we're going to go otherwise. Start, center, end. So this is our arc. All right, see it, right? So we've drawn our arc using another method. So let me address something here. There's what we call O snap. In case you are trying to work on your drawing, let me go back. You can see, let's assume I want to work on my drawing, I want to modify, or I want to select a particular part of this line. You can see different points. This is your green symbol here, the triangle symbol, the green triangle, the green square. You see those things, they are just all snap, all right? So you can use them to select different parts of the line. So how do you put it on? So you have different ways to put it on. So O snap, just type O snap in your keyboard, press enter. You can see them. So there are the various points you can select in a particular geometry. All right. So the geometry center is talking about the center of your cycle. So take note. This one is normal center. Let's assume geometry center is just okay. Let's say the center of particular geometry. Why this one center of the cycle? Like the center of your ellipse, you can get it using your geometric center. All right. So these are everything concerning O snap, everything concerning all stuff. You want to select the point, the end point, you can select it. You want to select midpoint, you can select it. You want to select center, you can on it, so you'll be able to select it. You want to select node, you have to put it on, tick the box to be able to select it. All right, so I'm going to come back to this stage in case we have any issue selecting any part of the line. So that's that. Now let's get going. All right, so okay, let's talk about the next one, which is the rectangle. All right, that is the rectangle. What is the rectangle all about? So we're gonna and click the first point and drag. So in drawing a rectangle, you have a dimension for it already, so you don't want to waste your time. All right, so you can see this point here. You see that you say specify other corner point. Or so now, or so I'm just gonna insert the dimension of the rectangle, right? I'm going to be inserting dimension of the rectangle. So let's go and let me insert it. What dimension am I going to use right now? Remember, the first one is the length, the second one is the breadth. So take note very, very well. So I'm going to insert the length. 10,000, let's use, okay, I'm going to use 10,000. I'm already used to it. Let's use 8,000. Right? So after selecting, you see that you're having problem going to the next tab, which is the breadth. All right. So to go to the next tab, the next box, which is the breadth, you will have to use your tab key. So I'm going to use the tab key. The tab key is located in at the left corner of your keyboard. So now just go. Sometimes you have it at both sides, but mostly for most HP or any other keyboard, you have your tab key at the left side corner, the last column at the left side corner. All right. So let's go. Tab key to the next one. Then we have 5,000. All right. So you see it. So we now have a rectangle drawn in this place. We have rectangle drawn in this place. So let's measure using our utility and let's see what it is. So you see it right, 8,000, and you see it 5,000. So that's cool. So that's that for rectangle. So where you have a rectangle, you still have another shape there, your polygon. Let's assume you want to draw a polygon shape in AutoCAD. You can come to this place and draw polygon shape. Polygon shape. So now in drawing your polygon, it is step by step. So you can write in your book how to draw a polygon, how to draw a line. So you can write it down and just come back to it later. Now in drawing a polygon, I will have to specify, say enter number of sides, right? You say enter number, you said enter number of sides, right? So I'm just going to enter the number of sides I want to draw in this particular drawing. So now the number of sides we have, okay, they're showing us four now. I want to draw six, so it will be obvious to us how to draw a polygon. So let's go. I'm going to hit six. Yes, okay. Let's specify the center of the polygon. All right, so just know that polygon is drawn with the help of a cycle. So that's why they are saying that specify the center of the polygon is drawn with the help of a cycle. So let's specify the center of the polygon. Center. All right. So the next box comes up. It's saying that enter an option. Is the polygon going to be inscribed in cycle or circumscribed about a cycle? So I'm going to be explaining this to us. Inscribing a cycle means the polygon is inside the cycle. All right, the polygon is inside the cycle. But circumscribe about the cycle means the polygon is around the circumference of the cycle. So the best way to understand this is practically. So let's just practice it and let's see. Let's do with inscribing a cycle first of all. So I'm just going to go with that. You can see there's black red ball is already there, black round ball is already there. So that means we're setting that. All right. So inscribe in cycle. So we'll click it and then let's start. This is our polygon, but now we have a problem. We have to insert our diameter, our radius. So for radius, I'm just going to be inserting 5,000. All right. So cool. So let's zoom in to see. Now, you might be having a problem trying to zoom in. Don't worry. To zoom in is use the ruler key and roll forward to zoom in. The same use the ruler key, roll backward to zoom out. All right. So that's that. As easy as that. All right. So now we are going to be talking about. Okay, remember this is inscribing a cycle. So let me show you what I mean by inscribing in a cycle. All right, what I mean by inscribing in a cycle. So now I'm just going to be drawing this right now. So now let's go click your cycle. And then if you're not seeing this point in yours, go to OSNAP and locate it. All right, by typing OSNAP and then you put it on your geometric center in OSNAP. Do it by yourself. I've done it before, so practice it. All right, on your geometric center in OSNAP. So now this is the center here. All right, this is center here. So I'm just going to be drawing my cycle. Remember the diameter we used in drawing this is 5,000, right? So the same diameter, sorry, the radius, the same radius what I'm going to be using to draw this likewise. So now let's say, okay, now it's in diameter, but let's just use our radius so I understand better. So draw. Now it's 5,000. Yeah, as you can see, this the polygon is inscribed in a cycle, right? Let's draw another polygon, circumscribe about the cycle so we'll see the obvious difference between them. So click this key and then step by step, I want C, so C is already there, it, and then it, okay, enter. All right, so I'm going to specify the what do you call it, the center of polygon, and then choose the next one, circumscribe about cycle. Now there is it here. So I'm just going to go with 5,000 again, right? 5,000 again, and then for my cycle that I'll be drawing inside, so just touch the line, outside line, and then the cycle and the geometric center will be active. So now I'll just draw and just go with my 5,000 again. Yeah, so as you can see, the polygon is circumscribed about the cycle, where in this one, the polygon is inscribed in the cycle. So those are the differences between circumscribe and inscribe. All right, so let's go on to the next one, which is the ellipse. Ellipse. So now let's talk about the ellipse. The ellipse can be drawn by with different method. We have the first method, center. The second method, axis, end. So I'm just going to be talking about the center because all of them, they are used in different what do you call it? When need arise, you use them. But for now, let's talk about the center alone. So now each your center, and that's that. Specify your center. Then the next thing you're going to be specifying is the radius. So let's assume I want to use a radius of 5,000, right? 5,000 radius. It's not actually called radius, though it's called the A, right? So it's an ellipse, so it's called the A. Specify your A and then specify the B. For an ellipse to be seen, the A has to be greater than the B. All right, so the A has to be greater than the B. So now I'm going to be drawing, okay, let's say the B, remember the A is 5,000, the B should be around, okay, let's say 3,000. Hit enter, you can see the oval shape. This is, this is an ellipse. This is an ellipse. All right, so that's that. The next one I'm talking about is the hatch 2, which is the next one. Hatch is your H and enter. Alright, so don't hit this place. You can use your H and enter. Hatch is what we use in beautifying our drawing, painting of walls, showing patterns and sessions, and all of that. So it's a very, very important tool. Alright, so Hash is differentiated into two different segments, which is the solid part and the pattern part. All right, so under this point we have, let's go with solid and let's paint this wall, this rectangle we have here. All right, so these are solid. You can see by layer we have white here. So I'm just going to still come to this place and choose a color I want to use to paint. Then I just want to paint this particular rectangle with purple. All right, look at it, that's it. I want to paint another color, just it. And also, as long as the rectangle is enclosed, before you can add that particular element you want to add, it must be enclosed. All right, so you can see this one too is enclosed. So let's pick on that color and see. All right, so that's that. Pick this color. You can see both colors are now same. Why? Is because each time you click the hatch tool, Arch assume that any color or pattern you pick is going to be used for everything in that particular hash to until you exit and come back. So let me undo and let's do it again. Now the hash tool. All right, so let's pick solid and pick this point and let's paint the first one purple. Before I can paint again, I will have to exit. Then hit my space key to repeat previous command, hit it, and then you can come back and select. Then you see the differences, they are now different. All right, so that is that for hash 2. These are you paint your walls and all that. So now let's talk about the patterns. We have patterns inside your hash 2, right? You have patterns inside your hash 2. Let's talk about the angle. As time goes on, you understand what patterns really mean. So let's talk about pattern, right? So for this, I'm going to change the color to by layer, and then I'm going to click. You can see something is wrong here, right? Something is really, really wrong because the pattern here is not the pattern I'm seeing here. Why? Because the scaling is so small, so everything tends to be white. You can't even see the pattern. All right, so you have to come to this place and do some adjustment. So here it's talking about the type pattern you're going with. Here it's talking about the layer you're working with, and then so here is not talking about ash transparency. All right. But first of all, before we can understand ash transparency, we have to increase our layer to around to scale the ash to a bigger amount. So let's scale it to around 1,000. Let's see if that's good. If that's cool with us. Okay. So we can say that's cool. All right. So we can see the ash now. We already scaled it from this place. All right, but this KD, so you can actually make your arch transparent by using this place. All right, you can see it, it's getting dim, dim, escape. You can see it, right? The arch is non-transparent, so you can also bring it back to normal. All right, so now let's click our arch and let's see. You can actually change the angle of the inclination, no longer perpendicular, but now on an angle. So you can look at it. You can change it. You can change it. You can change it. All right, so that's that for your arch to it. So easy, so easy. So stay close. Let's talk about more things. All right, so now let's assume I want to beautify this. I can just combine two. Okay, just play around, play around, play around, play around. As long as it's enclosed, it will go. All right, so that's that. So the next two we're going to be talking about, the next segment is the modify segment. All right, so let's talk about modify. Okay, so now let's talk about the modifying tool, right? So the first one is the move tool. Under your modifying segment, we have a move tool, right? So move tool. The second one is what? Rotate. So let's start with the first one, move tool. How do you move elements around AutoCAD? So the first thing you're going to be doing is to select the element you want to move. All right, select the element you want to move. So you just select the element. So AutoCAD not know that this is the element you want to move. You can actually move by pressing M on your keyboard, and you see your move selected, highlighted in view. See it, right? Move. Or you come to this direction and move your tool. So let's select again and let's see how we can move around. So when you're just selecting, just hit the first point and move to the second point. All right. So that's that for move. All right. The next one we're going to talk about is the rotate. All right. So let's talk about rotate. So to talk about rotate, I can either use any of the elements here to explain it. Let's select this element and click rotate this element. So we're telling AutoCAD that this is the element we want to rotate, right? That this is the element we want to rotate. So let's go ahead and rotate this element. So I'm just going to click this point and you can see they're already rotating. So click first point and turn it around. Click first point and turn it around. So we are going to be rotating by just doing that. So now you can see that I can only rotate this through the what do you call it? Through the perpendicular direction. I can't rotate it freely. It's only just restricted to horizontal and vertical direction. So I'm just gonna go and off my orthogonal, off it, and then there is it. I cannot rotate it freely. All right, let's rotate this. Good. So we've rotated it already, and now it's rotated and inclined at an angle. All right. So now there's another thing about rotate. Let's assume we want to rotate and place both the source copy and the rotated copy. So let me use my ellipse for instance. This now is my source copy. So I want to rotate this and keep my rotated copy and my source copy. How do you do that? Go ahead, select the object you want to rotate and tell AutoCAD this is what I want to rotate. So click on rotate and then start rotating. You can see now the source copy is already invincible, almost invisible. All right, so I'm just going to go to this place and just hit, look at this place, copy. You can see it is now visible. So now I can rotate and keep both elements. All right, so that's that for rotate. Let's go on to the next. The next is what? Your trim. All right, next is trim. So in doing this, in explaining what trim actually entails, I'm just going to be using lines. All right, trim is actually a cleaning tool, a tool in which you use for cleaning your work. All right, so it's actually a very nice tool. So let's draw lines and let's see. Right, so let's draw lines up and down. So now, let's assume we want to attain a rectangle, but we are having a problem by having these lines extended beyond the boundaries that we want them to be. So you can use your T arrow for trim, or you come to this place and just hit the trim button already and begin to trim everything. But before then, wait. you will have to right click first before you're able to use your trim. So when you select the trim, you say select object on select all. So you just right click, sorry, right click. You can see now select object to trim or shift select to extend. All right, so I'm not going to be doing the trim, so I'm going to select the object to trim after right clicking. Good, 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 good. So as long as you are touching the element to trim it, good, 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 good. So there's one restriction in trimming. You can't trim this because why? It's a single line. Look at it, it's single, it's from one point to another. But when you have almost 3 points in the line, look at it, 1 point, on that point, this is an intersection point, and then we have on that point, then you can trim either of them. Look at it, you can trim this or trim this, so it's possible. All right, so let's go ahead and let's start going on to the next. The next one we are having is the extend, right? The extend. So I'm going to click extend and let's go ahead. So now for extend, I'm going to draw a series of lines so I can understand. So these are the lines. So I want to extend all these lines to this particular line here. So the first thing I'm going to be doing when it comes to extending is I'm going to tell AutoCAD this is a line I want to say. I want to extend all these lines to. So I'm going to select it and go extend. That's that. You can just go ahead and start extending them by touching them. All right. So that's that. The next one on our list is erase. Erase is very easy too. The shortcut is E. So when you type E, you see erase pop up already. So now select this one, E, enter. Select this one, E, enter, or you select and then come to this page and just click erase. Select this one, click erase. So any of them you want to do, it's your choice. All right, AutoCAD provide everything for you. So it's garbage in, garbage out. Whatever you want to do in AutoCAD, AutoCAD will give you. All right, as long as you know what you're doing. So the next one we are having is the copy tool. Let's assume I want to copy an element to different part of the drawing. The first thing I'm going to be doing is selecting the element and say AutoCAD, this is the element I want to apply my copy tool on. All right, so select the element and go to copy, copy. Right, so just select the element and just hit any point on your. Okay, let me do this now. Let's say I select the element and then hit copy. I'm going to pick a reference point first. My reference point. So I'm just going to be drawing. All right. So you can see from that point I'm moving. So I pick outside this point, then that will be my reference point. All right. So that's that. So you can copy, copy, copy. As you can see, my copying is restricted to only vertical and horizontal direction. To deactivate that, I'm just going to use my orthogonal again and just pull it off immediately, and then I can copy to different parts at different angle and different inclination, not just in your rectangle in your horizontal direction and vertical direction, but also at different points. All right, so that's that for copy. Next one we have on our list is mirror. So to do this, I'm just going to be drawing a rectangle triangle. All right, a rectangle triangle. So sorry, a rectangle, a rectangle triangle. So this is it. Now to copy, the first thing I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be telling AutoCAD that okay, I select the element. This is the element I want to apply my copy on. So click the my mirror. So I'll click the mirror and then I will draw an axis. Just hit first point to draw an axis, move to the other point, and then click. So the axis you just drew now is your mirror. All right. The mirror is at the same distance from the axis. So you understand. Mirror, the images and the object forms, they are the same distance from the mirror. All right, they are the same distance from the mirror. So you click. So there's something that pop up here, as you can see. It said erase source object. Do you want to erase source object? I'm just going to go with no, but if you want, you can go with yes. All right, so no. So that is it. That is that for mirror. All right. So now let's talk about the fillet and the chamfer. Fillet fillet and chamfer. All right. So let's talk about this. So now I'm just going to go and draw a rectangle to explain this. All right. I will draw a rectangle to explain this. Let me just draw two, one for fillet and one for chamfer. All right. So follow me step by step and you understand. Now this is for fillet. The first one, so fillet is actually a curve at the corner of a rectangle, a curve at the corner of a triangle, as long as the corner and two lines are meeting, either at an angle or anyhow, you just have to insert the radius of the curve first. So what I'm going to go with now, you have to type the first letter, radius. So arrow is the first letter, arrow, and then hit enter. So you can now specify the what do you call it, the radius you want to work with. So I'm not going to work with my 2000. All right, so I'm going to click OK. All right, sorry, let's go again. Something came up. So arrow, enter, 2000. Good. So now I'm going to select these both lines, select the first one and the second one, and then you can see it. That's a fillet. First one, second one, fillet. First one, second one, fillet. Then the first one, second one, fillet. All right, so you click the first line, then click the other line, you form your fillet. As long as you follow it step by step, the way I did it, you're gonna get it. All right, so now let's talk about the chamfer. The chamfer. All right, so for chamfer, it is distance, not radius, because fillet is curve, so you need a radius to draw your curve. Chamfer is distance, you need a d. That's d. So now what I'm going to be entering now, d. All right, so enter, and then they're telling me to specify the first corner I want to draw from. So for the first corner, what they're just saying now is specify the length that your chamfer will start from, the distance your chamfer will start from your length. All right, for my length, I want the chamfer to start at 5000. Enter. Then for my breadth, I want the chamfer to start at 3000. Let's see the effect. Enter. So the same way you did your fillet, just click this place and this place. You see chamfer. This place, and this place. That chamfer. The same thing. All right, the same thing. So cool. So that's that for chamfer and fillet. All right. So now the next one we have here is explode. So explode is actually used, as it implies, it explodes group objects into single objects. All right. So to explain this, let's go to the group object we have here. Let's do this hash erase enter. So these are group lines. All right. So let's assume that I want to explode a group object into a single element so I can select them properly and easily. So I'm just going to click this element and tell AutoCAD this is the element I want to explode. When you are done clicking it, it's either you use S enter, or you go to this place and just click explode directly. All right, so I'm just going to hit the button explode, explode. So as you can see, you can now select this line separately. Yeah, separately. So now let's go on to the next. We have the stretch tool. What is the stretch tool all about? All right, so in explaining that, I'm just going to draw a rectangle, a long one. All right, so now there are rules that guides how to you in stretching. If you want to stretch this particular area, you want to stretch this one forward, then you will have to just select only that area. All right, you don't have to select everything. Select only this region. All right, so select this region and then hit stretch, and then you can now stretch. All right, you can now stretch. You can now stretch. So let's stretch this towards this direction. Then I want to do same in this place. Select, then come to your stretch here, hit this stretch, and then I can now stretch this one forward. I can do so for the upper part. Select, hit the stretch, and then I can now stretch upward. I can do so for downwards part, select, hit the stretch, and then I can now stretch downward. Alright, so that's that for stretch. It's very, very easy. Alright, so now let's talk about, let me just copy this. So I'm gonna up my orthogonal. Alright, so let's talk about the next one, which is scale, right? So talking about scale, I'm just gonna use this and down. So first of all, you will tell AutoCAD this is what I want to scale by selecting it, right? You can use either of the selection method. So select it and go to this point and click the scale tool. All right, so the first thing I'm going to be doing is insert the time number or insert how much you want to scale it. So I want this to be 2 times bigger, so I'm just going to put 2. All right, so look at it, it's 2 times bigger now. Yeah, that's how you scale in AutoCAD. It's very, very easy. So now let's assume I want to return it back to normal size. How do I do it? Or I want to make this thing smaller. You use your 0 point to scale. Use whole number to scale. You have to use above 1. All right. Then to reduce size, you have to use below 1. You understand? So now I want to reduce this now, so I have to use below 1. So I'm going to hit my scale, and then instead of using above 1, I'm going to type 0.5 or anything 0.1, 0.21. So you can see it has returned back to normal. It's not in its former size. That's that for scaling. So let's talk about the next. The next is your array tool, right? So I'm going to select this and tell AutoCAD this is what I want to array. Click it. You can see it already helped us, but right now we don't want it to be like this. We want a good distance. We want a very good distance. So let me type 20,000 for distance. So you can see it adjusted. But let's assume we want it to be so many. We can just go to the direction. You can use this direction for adjusting distance. This point, adjusting distance. Let's adjust this to 2000. Sorry, undo. So select the first rectangle is to adjust distance. Then the second one at the end corner is to adjust the number. So let's go and let's see 20,000. Go with this for the first one. Good. So let's increase the numbers. See it, right? So I can just shift forward column 17. Let me just type 19. See it, right? Then come to this point, just select, and then say rows. Let me type 19 rows. You see it, right? That's that. It's now selected. Look at this, how you draw your array. So in case you want to do something using your array, that's how you're going to do it. So the last tool in your modifying segment is the offset tool. The offset tool is very, very important. All right. Offset tool actually drills in drawing lines and then offsetting a particular line from one through a distance. So offset tools is used in drawing, moving an element through a distance in a particular direction. All right, so I'm just going to draw and just okay. So now, for example, this is a line. Let's assume I want to offset this to this point, and I want to insert the distance and the direction likewise. So I'm just going to select this line and then come to my offset, click offset, and then click the line. Sorry, offset, select the line, then select the distance I want my offset to go through. So I want it to go through 20,000. So that's that. So this is 20,000. So you can move in either direction. Either direction. You can see it. So any of them is just through 20,000, right? Through 20,000. So that's that for offset. All right. So you can actually offset in AutoCAD by doing that. We're going to be using these two very, very well. So if you don't understand now, please just stay calm. We're going to be using it to draw our plans. All right. So that's that for modifying tool. So see you in the annotation tool. Let's talk about what we can use the annotation tool for.
Lectures continue in part 2. Check this video's description below for link to part 2.